Hello and welcome to another Vectorworks Teaser Tuesday question and answer section. It occurred to me last time that I didn't explain who I was at all, and will now explain who this gentleman is too. I'm Jim Wilson, a user experience manager. I've worked here about 12 years now. I started when Vectorworks 12.5 had just come out. And my first real version of Vectorworks that I used heavily was 2008. I did tech support for about 8 years, and then I moved into doing user experience management, which is a very fancy title for saying I work with the forum, I work with just improving areas where users interact with the company as a whole, not just the software. And who are you, sir?
Well, I'm Steve Johnson. I'm the Vice President of Product Development here at Vectorworks. I've been here for 25 years. I put my watch on today,
It's
my
proven. Yeah.
25 anniversary watch. I remember cutting my teeth with the eyedropper tool or the resize, the eyedropper tool or the offset tool. That was a long time ago.
So making those tools.
Making those tools.
Oh, you coded them. Okay.
Yeah. Or I remember the first product, the object information palette. They wanted that, and I remember doing that. And 25 years has raced by, and this time of year is just a great time of year when we get a look back at all the stuff we built this year and bring it to you and let you see it. I really like the two Teaser Tuesday topics that you've chosen. I mean, they really let us promote a message about that's very important to us right now, and that is about quality, performance, and usability. This topic today is not a bright, shiny topic, a brand new feature that does lots of impressive things. That it's really just right in the daily, in what you do every day. It affects your daily work. So Jim is going to introduce the topic of VGM Vectorworks graphics module on the sheet layer, and we'll then get to your questions.
Yes. So last time we did it assuming everyone had already seen the video. This time we're going to go ahead and play those two teasers. So the first one is Vectorworks graphic module for sheet layers. The second one is on-demand tessellation, and we're going to play those for you now so you can take a look at them. The next feature we're going to tease for Vectorworks 2019 is known as Vgm Sheet Layers. Now VGM, if you haven't been on the forums and discussing it for a while, is the Vectorworks graphic module. It's basically the technology that allowed OpenGL and Top Plan and the other views to get much faster in Vectorworks. Now this feature is all about viewing, zooming, panning, and moving your view around on a sheet layer. It's nothing to do with the viewport processing itself. So we have two examples here in 2018, and we'll see those same two examples in 2019. This first example I consider the needs improvement version. It's even just a relatively complicated document. So this is just hidden line, but it's got a lot of detail here in these different hatch patterns. So we get zooming around in here, and there's a little bit of a delay. There's a bit of a clunk, there we go. And as we try to go quickly between these two, we'll see that it will redraw, but it takes a little while, and it can start to stutter after a bit. And if I try to go in and out very quickly, you can see how it starts to stutter and gets a little slow. It gets the job done, but it's uncomfortable and it can be disruptive. I would consider this the needs improvement situation in 2018. We'll come over here, and this is the same view in 2019. It's just the same file converted over. Now when I zoom in and out, you can see there's no delay whatsoever. It's waiting for me to finish my zooming, and then it'll finish the final drawing. However, I can zoom in and out wherever I like, instantaneous, high frame rate, and no delay whatsoever. It responds as soon as I tell it what to do. Now, this is a standard 1080p display and a GTX 1060 graphics card. This is nothing special, and this is the kind of improvement you can expect to see as long as your graphics hardware is up to the minimum requirements. Now, this second example here is a little more common, and I consider worse than needs improvement. This is downright difficult to work in. We have just a few viewports here, but they're very complicated. It's a particularly complex lighting plot. If we go to zoom in here, I've already scrolled in, and we'll wait, and there it redraws. And if we go to pan to the side, we'll wait, and then it'll redraw. There we go. It's not great. So this is very difficult to use and can cause quite a bit of headache. Everything still works, but you have to wait quite a while for everything to show back up on the screen after zooming and panning. There we go. And let's go back and take a look at 2019's flavor of that. So go in first, and we go to zoom in and out. And already we can see quite the difference. It's able to maintain all of this in the graphic module. Doesn't have to redraw it, doesn't have to build it back from scratch again. All of this can stay in the graphics buffer. It's fantastic, nice and smooth. And we don't have to wait for anything. We can get right at objects modify things very quickly without having to wait for the screen to redraw a number of times. Just to give you a clearer picture, go back to 2018. We'll try to do that same zooming that quickly. I'll just zoom in and out really quick here. And we don't even get the instruments. They don't even appear. It tries to truncate them off in order to draw faster, but it is quite slow. And they come back. However, we have fixed this entirely in 2019. So again, same computer. I am just tabbing back and forth between the two versions of Vectorworks. You can see that 2019 VGM Sheet Layers has significantly improved its speed. What you're looking at here is a quick demonstration of on-demand tessellation. This feature sort of goes hand in hand with VGM Sheet Layers, as on-demand tessellation improves any area that the VGM is already working on. So now that top plan is VGM, 3D views are VGM, Sheet Layers are VGM, ODT, on-demand tessellation, benefits all of those. The first one that you'll see here was the file opening in 2D, and you can see it was almost twice as fast. So here's a 3D file, and this is a whole, I think it's an entire island, one of our test files. On the right, you can see in 2019, it's loaded in 21 seconds, and 2018 is still going on the left side. On the right now, in 2019, I can actually move around. I can do things now. It's still loading the model. See how it's pulling in the buildings as they come? That's multi-threading. So you're actually watching multiple threads on your processor and the GPU do their jobs separately, rather than having to wait for them all to be done at once to display the model. So technically, the one on the right hasn't finished yet. 2019 is still loading. It's just already working and letting you do things, loading in the objects as they come. You can see now the city is far more populated. But on the left, it loads in all at once, but we had to wait 70 seconds in order for that to happen. And here we are. You'll see the other benefit of on-demand tessellation. When you're entering or exiting a symbol and other container groups where it has to basically recalculate the geometry afterwards, this is now multi-threaded as well. So you can watch 2019 on the right is able to do the same procedures that 2018 is doing on the left in much less time. We're already a few steps into the editing on the right, and on the left, we're still exiting that second symbol edit. There we go. So you can just see it outruns it very quickly. And this is, as most users are aware, this is the advantage of multi-threading. This is splitting it up and using more of your CPU, more cores of your CPU, and taking advantage of your graphics card as well. You will, in 2019, see a significantly larger processor usage because of this. We're taking more advantage of the CPU, so you will see that CPU usage go way up. And we're back.
Yes, and Jim, that video really points out the sheet layer navigation is a great way to kind of study and understand what's going on. In 2018, the graphics were drawn with one CPU, and so you would navigate and we would show as much graphics as we could show in 1 second. And if we ran out of time drawing in 1 second, we dropped things out. So that's just the navigation was slow, and then we had to wait for it to redraw. We're using just one CPU. 2019, we introduced the GPU to the sheet layer environment, like we had in the design layer. And so we transfer the drawing information up to the GPU, and so that is able to drive the navigation graphics, and so you get fast navigation. And then, once you're navigating and you're done navigating, you want to get back to work, you can get back to work. You see the graphics on screen. In the background, we now have multiple CPUs processing the drawing so that it can come to the screen without you having to wait. And so we're really harnessing all the hardware you have on your machines, and the sheet layer environment is a good place to study it. The graphics, you go to a new sheet and you've got to transfer a new geometry up to the GPU. We're having 4 cores do that. Transfer the geometry to the GPU. You navigate, the GPU working hard for you. And when you're done, we bring those crisp line weights, those final quality graphics that we're so proud of, that Vectorworks is so famous for, those graphics, we work on those, we draw those with multiple CPUs, as many as you have on your machine. And that fills in...
That was going to be my next question. Yeah.
I
was like, is it 4?
Fills in the drawing.
Yeah. So if you've got 128 cores, it'll have 128 spreads. Awesome.
Yeah.
That's
so the story of VGM Sheets is we're really letting Vectorworks graphics module really shine on the sheet environment too.
Excellent, excellent. And I wanted to let you guys know, this feature and the features we've shared in the teasers and all the features we make, these come as a direct result from you making feature requests on the Vectorworks forum, or any sort of troubleshooting we do if we end up
stumbling over something while we're trying to track down an issue. Once we figure out what it was, it will become a feature. So this is a serious way to influence development, is joining the Vectorworks forum and making wish list requests.
And I've been here for 25 years. Jim started with the forum recently, and what he's been doing to connect us with users, it's just been tremendous. It's a huge resource for us as we turn over and learn more about your workflows and the pain points and stuff like that. It's our ears on the ground, thank you, because we can turn these things into solutions that really make a difference to you.
Excellent, thank you. The first question, well actually here, we can address these two live questions first. Mark Aceto asks if there's a limit to the number of cores that can be used. And so is the limit how many cores your computer can have?
Exactly.
So the limit of the operating system's ability to support cores, which is like 128,000 now. You don't have the processor that has too many cores. You don't. Yeah.
But you guys have complex drawings with lots of graphics, and we just split them up into all your cores, and we let the cores do the work. We split it out, and that's how we can work faster and smarter.
So there probably is a limit. It's probably limited by the operating system. So we're talking thousands. Don't worry about that. Yeah, it should be good. The next live question is from Scott Barnes, and he says, Jim, can you please let us know what hardware specs you were using when showing those demos? The first demo where I show the light plot and where I show the, what was the other one? The first one with the light plot where I'm showing VGM Sheet Layers, that is just a regular run-of-the-mill gaming laptop. So it was a 1080p resolution, and the graphics card was a GTX 1060. So just the laptop version of that, not overclocked. It's a mid-range gaming card. So you don't need an insane video card in order to handle Vectorworks. So regular machine that's even designed for light gaming, and it was a laptop even, was able to do that. That was not like an iMac Pro or anything we just sort of snuck in the background. The other machine was actually even a weaker one. So the one that our associate Chip Hin did, the demo on-demand tessellation, that was a weaker card. I don't actually know the exact specs, but I do know that it was lower than a 1060. So you can expect that with even the average hardware that comes on the Vectorworks system requirements. Next question will be, this was from the forums, and this is Andy Brumel. I'll ask you this time.
Andy.
Does this apply to all viewports or only ones that are in top plan or hidden line? For example, what about a 3D view in wireframe on a sheet?
There's a simple answer. It applies to all viewports on the sheet. All the graphics you see on the sheet are being transferred to the GPU, and we're navigating. The graphics are fast to the screen, and then all the graphics are being drawn with multiple CPUs, all the final graphics. So
it won't affect like how long a section viewport takes to generate the section. Unfortunately, that's sort of next in our what we're going down soon. Hopefully,
yeah. There's a question ahead, even I think.
Oh, is there?
But but as far as drawing graphics on the sheet, anything that's on the sheet is going to be improved.
That's good. Next question is from Zoomer on the forums. Will this enhance 2D design layer viewports too?
It will. I mean, BGM has been working in the design space in previous versions.
So it already did.
It already did.
This specifically isn't adding it. It already was.
Well, yes and no. Okay. It already was drawing the graphics with the GPU, and so you were navigating quickly. Well, what's fast now is if you use your class and layer visibility filter control and you change your visibility and new graphics come into view, we do need to transfer those graphics to the graphics card, and that's being transferred not with one CPU anymore, but all the CPUs are available. So in delivering these graphics to the screen quickly, there's a cycle where we have to transfer the graphics that are new, that haven't been seen before, have to be transferred to the card, and that's where we use multiple CPUs to put them up to the card, and then the card gives us navigation graphics, and then multiple CPUs put those final graphics back on the screen.
So we're getting to work on work we already did in previous years. We're now getting to just double down on it.
You could see it in the design space, and now it's in the sheet space.
Excellent. Next question is Mark Aceto. He asked this on the forum. He's also in the live chat here. The name of the game has been defined. He's talking about when you're building a machine for Vectorworks. The name of the game has been defined the fastest single-core clock speed available, since it was all single-core. So could you elaborate more on multi-core improvements, which we've done a little bit already?
Yeah.
For example, what tasks will take advantage of multiple cores that didn't before? And I think we don't need to redo that again. Yeah, it'll be handing things off to the graphics card. Used to still be single core first, and then the graphics card could do its business. Now multiple cores will be shoveling info into the graphics card.
That's
shoveling is the official term.
Working hard.
Yes,
working hard.
The next one is from Patrick Fritsch. He's wondering if this will help the hunting of surfaces when using the push-pull tool. We talked a little about this earlier.
Yeah, this is an attribute of the tool and some complex geometry under it, and the VGM is not at work there, and so this is really more of an example of a targeted usability fix that we need to get to, and it's something well within our short-term turnaround. This is something that we see very easy ways to fix. We just have to get to it.
So we think we can fix this without messing with VGM even at all?
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
It's not really related.
Gotcha. The next one, there was the last question. Then we had questions from the forum again. Kevin McAllister, do auto hybrid objects take advantage of this? Exiting an auto hybrid is one of the slower things he does currently in Vectorworks, he says.
I'm sorry to say, Kevin, the answer is that the slowest part you're seeing is the sectioning, the geometry cutting the process of the auto hybrid. So VGM sheets, the VGM in 2019 is not going to speed that up for you, but I just rest assured this whole attitude we have to performance and quality and moving tasks to multiple cores in the background this is a ripe topic, and this is right in our crosshairs. It might even be on our horizon. So.
And he has a second question following up to that. Do operations previews, for example, when you're rotating an object, does that take advantage of it? Currently, like the previews, like if you have a very complicated, intricate symbol and then you go to rotate it, sometimes it'll just default to a bounding box. Does this affect that? Either of these features affect that?
It doesn't affect it in 2019, but this is one of the last remaining pieces to have VGM tackle for us. And VGM's more than capable of it. It's in the very old days, back 25 years ago, it made a difference to draw things as a cube and a wireframe just to do that quickly, and that's no problem for us now. We just have to get that into VGM and look for that in the future.
So soon TM, yes, but not in 2019 yet. Next one is Seaberg. He says, this is awesome. He's correct.
It is.
It's awesome. Might there be other benefits associated with the switch of the switch of the sheet layers to the VGM? Specifically, would this enable viewports to be updated in multi-thread fashion or perhaps continuously? He's talking about the actual updating of a viewport, so the sectioning and then waiting on hidden line and things like that.
It's related to the question about auto hybrids, and it's a pattern here. VGM's not solving that problem now, but that update button, I don't know how long it's going to be around.
So we want to get rid of it eventually so that it just does its business.
Exactly right.
And you don't.
This is what again, the same story. We're moving more and more Vectorworks to the background in multi-threaded environment, multi-cores, and so we're not going to bother with these sorts of things. They can just be done in the background, and you don't need to wait.
Gotcha.
So again, we listen to you. We're listening right now. We hear it again, and we're confirming that we're on this, and we know it's important to you.
Oh, just Andrew says hi. Hello, Andrew. Nice to talk to you. He's one of my guys from the forum, too.
Yeah.
The next one, I think this is the last one we have, unless there's more live questions. Simon Allen asks, can you give some more details, please, on how many lighting instruments and other objects and viewports were in that particular drawing? That was the one I showed in the VGM Sheet Layers, that big light plot that was really obviously faster in 2019. I think there were 125 lighting devices. There were 58 lighting positions. There were a few, I think there were 24 or more different groups that all contained 3D polygonal geometry. Most of it was imported pieces of truss. And then a bunch of different groups. So it wasn't the heaviest file I've ever seen, but it was considerably heavy as far as 2018 was concerned. And now it's sort of changing my definition of what heavy is, because it was no longer a problem for Vectorworks. So I would now maybe consider it a lightweight file. Maybe I need to change my language. But yeah, that's about it for, I think, me. Do you have anything else you wanted to say before we get going?
Oh no, I mean, I love talking about VGM. It's kind of it's where the rubber meets the road. I mean, we have great presentation features in Vectorworks, and you guys assemble great drawings, do great design, and it's our challenge every year to try to keep up with the technology and all that you throw at us. And that keeps us busy. We love it, and every year we love to come and tell you about what we're doing, and this year's no different. Finish by just saying that these first two teasers may not be the sexiest features out there, but they really are. Remember,
next one's pretty good. Yeah,
they really do represent this commitment, this increased commitment, even in recent years, where this is a professional solution. It's part of your day to day. This is what you do to day to day. It's how you do your work, and quality and performance and these usability features. They make a big difference, and they're important to us because we sense. Because we hear from Jim and the forum and all the feedback loops here, we know that these are important. And so you need to know this is a high priority for us, and these first teaser Tuesdays, they show that. And as you see, there's things on the horizon, and we're working on those too.
Very much so. So that's it. Thank you for joining us. Please feel free to add any more questions either in the live chat or go on the forum and put them there, and we'll just address them right there. You don't not to get your questions answered just because we're not live anymore. This live stream, like I said last time, is a bit of a beta test. So if you saw anything you liked versus the last time, something you'd like to see, go ahead and just message us and let us know, and we'll take it into consideration. Otherwise, I'll see you at the same time, same day next week for the next Teaser Tuesday.
Right.
Bye.